Good afternoon, friends, neighbors, comrades in arms, and my brothers and sisters all over the world. Welcome, freedom fighters. Welcome to the Jerry Ross rant on the world because everybody needs a curmudgeonly old man to talk from time to time. Everybody needs that crazy old uncle. That's me. So, I need to make a couple statements. First, all the opinions on the shows on this channel, they're my opinions. I don't represent any government organization. I do not represent any club, what party, whatever. These are just my opinions. I'm exercising my First Amendment right here. So you should too. So you got some options here if you don't like what I'm saying. First, you can listen. Maybe you'll learn something. Second, if you don't like it, you can ignore it. Third, and probably the best option for all you people with blue hair, is to grow thick skin instead of the thin skin that you have and listen up. And if I upset you, I just really don't care. So, what a week it has been. The leak on Roe versus Wade really kind of is making some people lose their minds. And I'm going to talk about it probably next week. I'm going to stick with what I originally planned to talk about, which is last week, the Department of Homeland Security, Secretary, a gentleman named Mayorkas, looks kind of like Lex Luthor or Jeff Bezos. Maybe they're channeling their inner Lex Luthor. Bet neither one of them ever really read Superman comic books when they were growing up. Probably more the pity for them. Anyway, they announced the formation of a Disinformation Governance Board, which I thought was kind of fascinating because Obama, in a speech to a university, was talking about just the same thing the week before. What a coincidence. Oh yeah, there's a 60-minute piece on disinformation too. Right before it. Oh, crazy. Crazy how those things happen. But anyway, the formation of a Disinformation Governance Board made my Whiskey Tango Foxtrot meter go ping. Because back when I went to high school in this country, we were taught civics. And in civics, we learned about our government, and we learned specifically about the document which outlines how we run our government. And the First Amendment of the Constitution is all about freedom of speech. And there's a reason why it is the First Amendment of the Constitution. And as David Chappelle said, I think last year, the reason we have a Second Amendment is in case the first one don't work out. I love Dave Chappelle. That guy's hilarious. Anyway, based on my 56 years of living, the biggest disinformation put out, biggest source, has been the U.S. government. And I'm going to give you 3 examples. Just 3 because that's all the time I got for it. I don't have time to repeat hundreds of them. Here's a good one. 2 weeks to flatten the curve. That's 2 years ago. I am still seeing people occasionally wearing masks. And these are healthy people, not people with advanced immunization issue or immune deficiency, but actual young people. I now enjoy seeing masks now because that enables me to point out who the idiots are. So it's like, so take that negative turn into a positive. Here's another one that went out was the Russian collusion hoax in 2016. And man, they ran with that, even though there was no proof whatsoever. And it turned out it all came out of Hillary Clinton's campaign. And a lot of sour grapes over there on the Democrat side. But here's an old one. when I was 7 years old, the Vietnam War came to an end. I really didn't understand what was going on. But I remember them talking about peace with honor, Richard Nixon, peace with honor. And then 3 years later, when I was about 10, the Democratic U.S. Congress cut off all the aid to South Vietnam, and the North Vietnamese Army launched a textbook blitzkrieg conventional operation and overran South Vietnam, which resulted in millions of refugees and the installation of communist regimes in Cambodia and Laos, which again resulted in millions of deaths. I distinctly remember the helicopters landing on the U.S. Embassy. We watched it on TV. I cried. I didn't know why. I just knew that something terrible had happened. And, man, so the government lies all the time. They're the ones putting out most of the disinformation. And the biggest people that put out disinformation is politicians. They do it all the time. And then bureaucrats and administrators. The Democrats tend to be the worst of the bunch, but there's plenty of Republicans that'll lie to you to your face, too. So just because you are a Republican or a conservative, you know, we have to check you, too, because we just can't trust you anymore. But getting back, I kind of got off the subject. Let's talk about Nina, and I'm probably going to mutilate the name, Jaworski. She is the one who has been selected to run this the Disinformation Governance Board, or the DGB. Ooh, sounds kind of like KGB. Oh well. This woman, she calls herself the Mary Poppins of disinformation. She put out a TikTok video in which she parodied a Mary Poppins song, and she's nuts. That was just one of her TikTok videos, and I'm not going to show it here because it's all over the internet, and you all have access to the internet. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to watch this, and you can look it up yourself. It's kind of cringeworthy and a little bit horrifying. And it's hard to take people serious who communicate by TikTok. Now, granted, I have done 2 TikTok videos. They were comedy bits for Black and White Roofing. And if you need a roof and you are in Missouri, Black and White Roofing are the guys to go to. God bless them. So, but let's get back to Nina, or as she calls herself, the Mary Poppins of disinformation. In 2015, because the girl loves to sing, another video was posted of her singing at a Christmas party. And she loves to do parodies. And the song she was parodying, I can't even think what it is off the top of my head. But here's some of the lyrics she is singing on a YouTube video. And I have to censor it because I'm trying to avoid using foul language. But she says, "Who do I F-bomb to be famous and powerful, step all over my enemies and never do a thing?" If you are in government service, singing a video like that should be practically the kiss of death. So, but Nina, she likes to sing. I mean, she's been singing quite a while. And she's also a Harry Potter fan. So, get this one. Wow. And when she was 18, she was part of a band. Hey, a lot of people are. Her band was called the Moaning Myrtles. And they put out 2 self-produced albums. And on this albums are songs about sexual fantasies with the corpse of Harry Potter. Now, folks, I've listened to some crazy rock and roll over the years. I used to listen to Pink Floyd a lot. Ted Nugent's got some lyrics that are really not acceptable in most company if you actually look into them. I get it. But are we kind of seeing a pattern of oddness here? She is, of course, 33 years old. and believes non-binary people can be pregnant. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter if you're straight, gay, bisexual, you're either a man or a woman. Never trust anybody who buys into or promotes this non-binary stuff because it's a sign they're either lying to themselves or they're fools. But we'll give her some credit. She is a professional writer. She's written 2 books: How to Lose the Information War. I have not read it. And How to Be a Woman Online, which I have not read it either. Simply just because I have not had time. And she's kind of a little known person. I mean, she's not a Victor Davis Hanson by any stretch of the imagination. She's certainly not a Condoleezza Rice or a Margaret Thatcher either. So it's just odd. This is just odd. She did have a double major in Russian and political science. She was a Fulbright Fellow and worked in Kiev for the Foreign Ministry of the Ukraine. Biden official, Ukrainian government. Oh yeah, she worked on disinformation for the Ukrainian government too. Are we starting to see a pattern here? I think we're seeing a pattern. Man. But she has no life experience except academia and government service, which no one should ever be put in power if that's all you got. Now, I get it. Let's say you have an academic record or whatever, and then you spent 10, 15 years driving ships through the Pacific or the Atlantic, or you were in the Air Force, the Army, or the Marine Corps, or whatever. But you're gaining some life experiences. She's led a very cloistered life in academia and then into government service. I don't think she's ever had to manage a budget or be responsible for people. She just has a lot of theories and a salary thrown at her on other people's tax dollars. So she's not a serious person. She's an educated idiot. I doubt very seriously if she'd make a good cashier in Walmart. Why is she in charge of anything? Why are we hiring her? I bet we're paying her a pretty good penny. Now, don't get me wrong. She is a very attractive woman. She's kind of got this whole Governor Gretchen Whitmer dominatrix vibe going, combined with Mary Poppins. But I'm sure in Fayetteville, North Carolina, on a Saturday night, she'd be at 10, maybe at 11, get down to Camp Lejeune, 10, 11, 12, 13, right there. I mean, she'd do really well down there. But you can't really take her seriously. I mean, I don't. I mean, it's just it's just crazy. And then you throw in the whole idea of her working in disinformation. Hell, this information board is un-American. I mean, you can't get much more un-American than that unless you, like, kick a dog and burn an American flag and, you know, spit in grandma's apple pie. I mean, just fanatically wrong. But I will say this for Nina. I did agree with her one time. Because in a congressional hearing in October 2020, and I quote, she was speaking to a Republican congressman, I totally understand your aversion to the idea that government would fight back against disinformation. The use of that has been a foundation for draconian fake news in places like Russia and even Singapore. I don't think the government should be in that business either, unquote. That's her words, not mine. Was she putting out disinformation then? Sounds like it to me. Anyway. All right, freedom fighters, this is a hill. This is one of those hills we have to plant the flag, dig in, and we got to fight here. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. This is a hill you die on because they are attacking. This government bureaucracy is attacking the very foundation and institutions of American freedom. Call your congressman, tell your friends, post on social media. Let's get the word out. This has got to go away. We have to defeat these people so badly that they're not ever going to attempt to push these ideas upon us again, although sadly I think they will. So, if you like the video, please comment, like, subscribe. I'm going to be doing some more. I think I'll probably be talking about Roe versus Wade and all the insanity that's generating right now. It's a damn shame, take away people's ability to kill unborn lives, and they're angry about it. I just don't get it. All right, freedom fighters, take care of yourselves, watch your six, and I will see you next week.